I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It.
Welcome back, y'all. We are here with the Free the Psyche Podcast, episode 2. It is such a good feeling to be back. I'm here with Steward of Dago Performance. We are going to be talking about mental functioning and physical fitness. DeAndre, go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
What's up, y'all? My name is Steward, also known as Stu. I'm a fitness trainer here in San Diego. I have been training for the last 3 years, and me and my partner, Bryce, have finally opened up our own facility here in National City. It is the first unique type of training facility. We have boxing, jiu-jitsu, striking, strength and conditioning, weight loss, athletic training for the youth. We're here for everyone in the community, so come check us out.
They got a little bit of everything for everybody, man. So go ahead, come through, check it out. We're out here in National City, San Diego, California. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, like I said, the topic of today is mental functioning and physical fitness. So, predominantly, what comes out of physical fitness is what's being released into our bloodstream, the hormones that are being released into our bloodstream. As adults who participate with at least an hour of high-intensity interval training experience release of hormones. So, DeAndre can go ahead and explain what a HIIT workout looks like.
Okay, so a HIIT workout stands for high intensity interval training, like you said. It's really a intense type of training from 30 minutes to 60 minutes of high intensity aerobic exercise, weight training exercise, even just body weight exercise. You know, it's really just getting the heart rate up and keeping that heart rate at a certain level for a certain duration of time.
So do you have a specific heart rate people should typically shoot for? Is there a range? How would you describe that?
Well, there's different zones. There's zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. The numbers are missing me right now, but they're usually between 100 and 170, 180 is pretty high intensity.
Okay.
Depending on the zone, it just varies on how hard you're working, you know? So the goal is to get to around zone 3, zone 4, when your heart rate is really at its max and high capacity, where you're burning the active calories.
Right.
And that is how it affects your brain.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. Appreciate that, man. And then as far as the endorphins that are released into the body when you're in these high-intensity interval training sessions, there is the release of endorphins, serotonin, endocannabinoids, and other ones, but we're just going to go through those 3. So endorphins is known for pain relief, the reduction of stress, and the improvement of mood. You notice how after you get a good sweat in, you get all these endorphins released through your system. Your body doesn't really feel sore in that moment, right thereafter. You probably hit you later down the line, like 1 or 2 days later. But it also improves your mood. I know I've caught myself a few times where I just didn't know what else to do. I was stressed out, and I just went to go on a walk or run, or I just lift some weights, just something quick. And then serotonin is responsible for regulating mood, our sleep, digestion, nausea, healing, bone health, and also our sexual desires.
Shout out serotonin.
Shout out serotonin, you feel me?
Shout out serotonin.
And then lastly, endocannabinoids. You can find this substance in other supplements, green leaf things, but endo, the suffix means within, so it's produced internally in cannabinoids and is responsible for the central and peripheral mechanisms of food intake and lipid synthesis. Long story short, it means it affects your eating habits and also is in charge of your glucose metabolism.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. I like these info. It's good scientific facts that we need
I
gotta
bring the research behind the physical fitness and the mental mind, because this is building our credibility as well.
Right. I like it.
Yeah.
Good.
So, DeAndre, first things up, where did your fitness journey begin?
My fitness journey began at the youth. Like most people, I started playing youth football, Los Toros in Spring Valley. I started playing at the age of 6. That turned into basketball. Then that turned into baseball. Then that turned into wrestling, and then track, and then weightlifting. So as a young age, I just started realizing how much of my physical capabilities really made an impact on my life. You know, I always want to get better. I always want to be better, improve, and see how I
And
can
see where it would take
where
you.
it would take me. And I thought about that at a young age, starting at youth football. Yeah.
Would you say your parents were a big influence on this?
My parents definitely were a big influence. My dad, I was raised by a single parent. My dad, he worked 24/7. You know, so in order to make sure we're occupied and not staying in the house or being in the streets too much,
Right.
he made sure that we were in sports.
Mhm.
You know, he dropped us off at a certain time. Or if he didn't drop us off, he made sure we knew the bus route or the trolley route on how to get to A, B, and C. But we made sure that we were at practice and these games and not doing anything else.
Preoccupy your time with something that's productive.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yep.
And then for me, my fitness journey, or I would say where I started, my earliest memory would be around 5, 6 years old. Both my parents were bodybuilders. My dad actually set a gym record at a Bally's gyms out here in San Diego. He had 12 plates on each side of a leg press. So the exercise was a leg press machine. He had 12 plates on one side, 12 plates on the other, 24 plates in total, 45 pounds. And then he also had, I would believe, his friend, which would sit on top. He was about 225 pounds. So I think total rough estimate, that was about a 1,300-pound leg press.
Oh, wow.
So,
Very impressive.
Fitness and health in general just kind of run in my family. My mom's a doctor as well. Shout out, Mom, for that.
Shout out,
Love
Mom.
you.
Shout out, Mom.
But yeah, my earliest memories, I was probably about 5, 6 years old. I remember coming home from school. Just if I had nothing to do, if video games bored me for too long and I finished all my homework, my dad and my brother would be in the backyard working out. We had a bench press, we had a squat rack. So I would just go out there and just do what I can, even if it was the bar. I mean, I'm 5, 6 years old. I can't be lifting anything crazy. But I remember the first time I bench pressed 135, I was in my backyard. It was my first time. I was excited. I was hyped. I think I was maybe 12, 13-ish.
Yeah, well, that first feeling.
Yeah,
you're
that
like,
first
"Ooh,
feeling is like, okay, I finally got my first plate off.
let's get it." Yeah.
So, it was a moment of bliss, and I just never wanted to forget that feeling. So, I just kind of carried it into my lifestyle now. I would get up daily and go put in the work what I need to do.
As you
It
should.
gets my mind right.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, man. And then for you, what do you say was the moment you realized this was something that was going to be a part of your life forever?
What do I say when I realize that?
What was the moment? What do you
was the
feel
moment?
like, okay, fitness is done. This is going to be here. It's never going to leave me. This is part of who I am. This is me.
Honestly, I was living on a friend's couch up in Sacramento. Had nowhere else to go. I was working 2 jobs. I worked at Planet Fitness, and then I worked at a bank up here in Sac. And one day, I just decided to take a walk, and think about life. Everyone has those moments where you're just like, let me just go think about life because it's not working out how I thought it was going to work out, or I just need to figure out something else because I want more in life,
Yeah.
So I decided to take that walk, and as I'm walking, I'm just thinking about everything that makes me happy. What do I enjoy doing? And fitness was that. It wasn't have to be just lifting weights. I like doing yoga. I like boxing. I like running. I just like anything that involves fitness, physical fitness.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I really love that. Anything health related. So how can I make money for it? Like, how can I make this a career? So that's when I reached out to Bryce. And Bryce taught me everything, how to get certified, just staying on top of my certification and my education and just really staying focused and dialed in. So once I learned how to balance that dialed in is that tunnel vision, and then with the love that I want, that makes me happy, put that together, and I was like,
was a beautiful equation.
This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is it.
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah.
I know we have differing goals, but for me, it's kind of similar in a sense in the fact that it's something that I wouldn't necessarily run to, but it's definitely my first option. Physical fitness has always been my first option. When I knew it was going to be a part of my life, it was 2020. Everybody knows what 2020. It was a stressful year for everyone.
Right.
It was the prime of the pandemic is what I'm going to say. I found myself stressed out from many of my personal tribulations from school, family, work, balance. It was just chaotic. I just didn't know where my mind was at because my mind was everywhere. And I just couldn't find a way to keep everything at bay. So I remember one day I just kind of got fed up. I took about, I'll say 2 miles up, 2 miles back. That's about 4 mile run to my old high school and back. Shout out Helix.
Right. Helix.
Yeah. And I just knew from that day forward, fitness is going to be a part of my life forever.
Mm-hmm.
It was, no matter what, I have to have some sort of routine where I fit in my exercise for the day, just keep my mind at bay.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then this is more of a vague question for you. What is your why? Why do you feel like you do this?
My why is honestly for others.
Mm.
You know, like having that feeling of someone looking up to you or reaching out to you on, Stu, how do you do this?
Mm.
Or I really like the way you do this. Can you show me how to do that? Or how do I reach that goal? You know, that is my why, because people are asking me. You know, so if I have the information to give back to them and educate them and help them in any way that I can, I'm gonna do it.
You feel like, yeah, because I feel like fitness, it has this transpiring effect. It transcends past us, because once people see us doing better, it's not even necessarily good. We're doing better than what we were, let's say, a month ago.
Right.
It kind of has that trickling effect on other people. Like, okay, well, they did this. Why can't I do it? You know, so it's a message for everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. To be there, you got to be there for other people, man. Like there's a lot of selfish personal trainers who just here for the money. But when you put other people first before you, it will not come naturally, you know? So I always thought like that. Just do it for others.
Yeah. Do it for everybody else first.
Yeah.
And then for me, my why, it's simple and complex at the same time. The mind and body to me is inseparable. The stronger your mind is, the stronger the body is. The stronger the body is, the stronger your mind will be. And then it just feeds off of one another. It's an ebb and flow. And then I also feel like whatever we feel will be projected. All right, technical difficulties. We'll be back again.
Okay.
But I like where I left off at. I was saying taking care of your body will help take care of your mind. And the healthier each portion of ourselves is, the better decision we are able to make for ourselves. I know when we get into dark times, we tend to gravitate towards things that may seem like they'll ease the pain or help the pain, but in the long run, it'll just tear us down even further and make us feel worse. So now then there'll be this dependency cycle where we run to this thing, we feel good for the moment, and then it just does itself all over again because it's only a temporary fix.
Right.
I feel like physical fitness is that long-term fixer. It helps clear our mind, and it helps cleanse our body and essentially our spirit. And then also, I want to be in a stratosphere where I can make the best possible decisions for me in order for myself to help others provide for the people that I have and that I love. You know, the better I feel, the better headspace I'll be in, the better decision I'll be able to make, and the better decisions I make, the better quality of life I can provide for the people that I love.
Period. Right.
Yeah.
Period.
And then, Stu, how do you feel when you don't work out?
When I don't work out, I feel worse than I did, you know? So let's just say I'm going over a lot of stress. I have a lot of stress. I have a lot of tension, a lot on my mind. I'm overwhelmed. And I don't work out. You know, some people let those stresses in life make them not want to go to the gym. I don't feel like it. I'm on the mood. But I don't know if you realize you feel a lot worse when you don't go to the gym, especially if it's part of your daily routine. You know, as far as your daily routine, and you're just gonna throw off your whole flow. Yeah. You know, so definitely when I don't work out, I feel incomplete. I feel worse. I feel like I could have been spending my time at a better place. Right. You know, so I regret it. Like, I hate to say it. It was that
instant regret.
Yeah,
like, why didn't I do that today?
I should have went to the gym today. You know, so that just crosses my mind every time I feel like I don't want to go to the gym. I'm like, I'm going to regret it. I should go to the gym.
It's almost like an immediate regret. Like, I'll probably say, as soon as you make that decision, like, oh, why didn't I go? What's wrong with me? What excuse am I making for myself that I didn't go?
Right.
For me, it's more, I feel like my head is so clouded, and I feel like I have no momentum in my day, because I start off exercising in the day. I wake up at 4 a.m. I do my stretching routine, get a little snack in, then I hit the gym at 5, and I work out from 5 to 6:30, and then I'm gone. And that's my momentum for the day. Right. Even though it's hard in the morning, because let's be honest, nobody likes waking up at 4 in the morning. There's very few people I know that do it, and you're one of them.
I do it. I do it.
So it's like, it's such a hard task to overcome. Once you do it, then it's like everything else is easy.
Easy.
Yeah, everything else is just floating. You're floating for the day. So for me, I just feel slow and my mind is clouded. It's just like I can't get myself together and get myself going. It's like starting a car that really doesn't want to start. So
yeah, you just don't feel like yourself.
yeah,
man.
you don't feel like yourself. You
It's
feel
like-
like I'm playing this character.
Yeah,
And it's not being me.
it's like,
It's not me
not
though.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel you in that. Yeah.
Okay. So what does fitness mean to you?
Fitness means a lifestyle. Like we were talking about that earlier, man. It's a lifestyle. You know, I was talking to my guy Sam over there boxing, and he was just saying how he went to high school with a few people and how they were playing all these sports, but then he's seen them again after high school, and it's like, dang, man, like what happened?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So fitness is really a lifestyle. Like you know from the jump if this is something you really want to do and pursue. If you really care about your body. You know, it would show you be in a gym, or if you're not in a gym, you'll be doing something that will benefit you physically, mentally, emotionally. You know, so that's what fitness means to me. It's really a lifestyle.
Yeah. For me, fitness to me is the conditioning of the soul. Like I mentioned earlier, the mind and body is intertwined, in my opinion. The other theories to disprove this, but this is just my personal perspective on it. The more we progress in our fitness journey, the better quality that we'll feel and better quality our life will be. Fitness was something that I was taught at an early age. Like I said, working out with my parents. My dad played, all those different types of sports, from tennis, football, basketball, baseball, you name it. My mom did track. So fitness is just part of what my family identity is. I have uncles that played in the NFL. I have aunts that played tennis, so it was just ingrained to the person that I am today. But like I said, the further we progress in our fitness journey, the better quality we will feel overall.
Right.
And then for you, Stu, what do you feel like your goals are for physical fitness?
Well, one of my main goals was to open up my own fitness facility. That was to give back to the community. Another thing was to start my own app. I'm really trying to work on starting my own app to release to the community as well. So that way they can have access to the information that I have access to, but I'll even have to research it. Like I want to make this app to where anyone can download it, and all the information is simple that anyone can understand, and it makes sense, and it will actually benefit them. Recipes, meal plans, how to track measurements, or why looking at the scale is not even good for you and how it can really affect you mentally. So like little information that people don't really think about or know about, I want to provide that for them, and right here in the city, your own city,
Right.
So yeah,
I'll say definitely that I need to work on my diet for one, and then the scale has always been one thing that I feel like I struggle with. My goal for the longest time was just to reach 190 pounds. I'm here now. I'm about 192, 193, but I have never weighed this much in my life, and it's not in the sense that I was unhealthy. It was just the fact that I felt I was just a little too small. But the scale distorts your perspective on how healthy you actually are, and that's one thing I learned along my journey.
Yes, and honestly, I've been working on the scale because I'm trying to get a little more muscle mass. My scale is a smart scale. It's to read your BMI, your body fat percentage, your muscle percentage, your weight. I want to really start tracking that for me personally, to make sure that when I'm teaching these stuff to my clients, that I know what I'm talking about. I got to practice on myself first before I start giving you this knowledge. Like I just know what I'm talking about, but if it's me, I'm like, no, this works, and this is what I did. And so if that way you can have your own little flow or fits whatever.
Right, because everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different biological makeup. So
right.
What may work for this person may not work for others, but there is, I'll say, a general rule of thumb.
Yes.
There's a general rule of thumb that people need to go off of.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for me personally, I didn't have a goal. Before this podcast episode, I did not have a goal for myself. So I sat down for a few minutes and thought it through. I don't know if this is a shallow goal, but this is me. I would say between 200 and 215 pounds. I'm 6'4". I feel like that range is pretty good. I don't want to be too heavy because then I'd be slow. I didn't want to lose that part of my abilities. And I'll say between 8 to 10% body fat, with the ability to squat 4 plates. I forgot how much that is. Help me out, Stu. 4 plates.
425.
425?
415?
415.
415.
I think it was 405.
405.
405. Let's say
Come on,
405. 405 for the camera. Okay?
Come on, bro.
Between 3 to 5 reps, and then I'll say bench press at least 315.
I
With
should be
people.
knowing that.
Yeah.
I should be knowing 4 plays off the back.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I definitely should know that off my head. I got stuck. But yeah, and then bench press flat bench 315 for 5 reps. I feel like for me, everybody in my family has been, or the males I'll say in my family, everybody can bench at least 315. I'm the smallest one out of the group, quote unquote. So, you know, that's just something for me.
Honestly, so one of my personal fitness goals is to maintain my weight. And I got this from Bryce. Bryce is like really my mentor. I look at him as like a role model for real.
Shout out Bryce.
Shout out Bryce. He's teaching me that he's only like 178, 179, benching over 355 pounds, squatting over 500 pounds.
That's insane.
Deadlifting over 500, 600 pounds.
Yeah.
He's teaching me like you don't have to get this big and
Stocky,
heavy enough to lift this weight. You just gotta learn proper technique, how to diet properly, and how to know your body. Once you know your body and how to really function it well, you can set your goal weight. So my goal weight is 180 right now. I'm 180. This is a comfortable weight for me. 185, I feel kind of too heavy. Anything below, I feel too light.
Right.
180, I still have my strength. I'm endurance. I can move. I have my flexibility. I can do a lot of different things at this is my comfortable weight.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to maintain this weight, but still build my strength, still stay flexible, still keep my endurance, and just stay overall balanced. You know?
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
It's about building that balance, and then once you find that sweet spot, it just feels like you can do anything.
I can do anything, you know?
And it's not even in the fact that you want to bench press like 400, 500, 600 pounds. It's more the fact that you feel comfortable doing this.
Yeah, and still having some type of personal growth, you know? Just because I want to maintain my weight doesn't mean I don't want to grow in my bench press or grow on my squat. I still want to get stronger, you know?
Yeah.
So I can do that still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Free the Psyche, episode 2 with DeAndre Steward at Dago Performance.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate your time.
I appreciate you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's a wrap. We done.
That's it.
Perfect.